Hi, I'm Mindy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you my January TBR, my first TBR for 2026, and I am super excited for these books I'm going to start out the year with. I have two events that I am going to be participating in. The Build-A-Slasher Readathon, which was created by Coral from Pretty in Paper Cuts, and Nevermore, created by Cat's Novel Adventures. So I'm going to start with Build-A-Slasher Readathon, the funnest idea. I had the most fun picking out books for these prompts. So what slasher did I build? Let's see. First, I had to choose my slasher, and I chose a home invader. And for that, I need to read a book set in a small town. And my choice is Bone White by Ronald Malfi, which is also a book club pick for Jason's Weird Reads book club in January. Love Ronald Malfi. This one is cold, winter horror, and definitely set in a small town. Next, I had to choose my location, and I chose a ski lodge. For that, I need to read a book that takes place in winter or is set in a cold location. And for that, I'm going to be reading We Like a Cherry by J.C. Morris, which takes place in the Antarctic, I think. This is the pick for my book club, the Indie Horror Book Club. I'll have a link to the Discord down below if you'd like to read that with us. Third prompt, choose my character. And I chose the nerd, which means I need to read a book with sci-fi elements. And I chose The Dregs of Empire by Christopher Rocchio. This is a novella in the Sun Eater series. It goes between the fifth book that I just finished and the sixth book, which I hope to read soon. My last novella for this series. I am getting there. And it is a sci-fi series, so it works perfect for this prompt. Fourth prompt is to plan your escape. And I chose to defeat the slasher. The nerd is taking that nasty home invader down. And for that, I needed to read a book that I think will have a plot twist. My choice for that is Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. It's a thriller, so those typically have some sort of plot twist. And so I thought it was a good bet. That is the Thrill, Chill, or Kill book club pick on the Bookish Drummer Discord. So really looking forward to reading that with them. Next, there were two optional prompts, and I decided to pick books for them as well. There was choose a time period, read a book set in a certain time period that your slasher is going to take place. And my book choice for that is Dark Sisters by Christy DeMeester. This actually has three different timelines: the 1700s, the 1950s, and more recent times. And the 1700s ski lodge didn't really make sense to me, but I went with the 1950s. Like, that seems pretty fun. A 1950s ski lodge slasher. Yes, please. And then lastly, we can choose a weapon to read a book with some sort of method of demise, some way you could die on it. It doesn't have to necessarily be an actual weapon, but in my case, I chose a book with a weapon on it, and it is a sword. I don't know what I imagine. I don't know if like a home invader is gonna come in with a sword. I mean, maybe. but I'd love to see, like, the nerd has sword replicas on the wall from his favorite sci-fi fantasy series and uses that to take down the slasher. I think that would be amazing. But my book with a sword on it for January is God of Broken Things by Cameron Johnson. And this is a fantasy read-along pick for December on the Bookish Drummer Discord. But I'm still working on that series, and it works perfectly for this prompt. I've got this whole slasher situation all coming together in my head. This was so much fun to put together. The other event I'll be taking part in is Nevermore, which is a week-long event, January 19th through the 25th, because January 19th was Edgar Allan Poe's birthday, and just an opportunity to read Poe for a week. I love Edgar Allan Poe's writing, and I definitely want to read more. There is a book club pick that is Edgar Allan Poe this month, and that is the Literary Love Book Club, hosted by Literary Love 123. And the story is Ligeia, so I'll be reading Ligeia by Edgar Allan Poe, one I have not read yet. The event group read is Mask of the Red Death, but I have read that one, so I'm going with Ligeia, and I'm excited about it. And here's my beautiful edition of the complete Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe. So I'll be reading Ligeia out of that. I might read a poem as well, because they're beautiful and short. I love Edgar Allan Poe poetry, and I still have a lot to go to read at all. I have a few carryovers from December that I did not make much progress in, so they're becoming January books. And the first one is King Sorrow. I have the cover already off because I'm reading it, but King Sorrow by Joe Hill, a highly anticipated new release that I'm going to read. I've already started it. But first thing, this is last month's pick for the Jason's Weird Read Book Club, hosted by Jason White. And so can't wait to read that. I also just started Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This is a classic that is on my 40 before 40 list, and I need to finish it. I think I'm going to absolutely love that story. As well as Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. I didn't have time to start this one at all, but I still want to read it. I think it's a good winter pick, and I think I'm going to love it. I have loved what I've read from Dickens so far. What else do I have for January? A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms by George R.R. Martin. The show is coming out very shortly, and want to read the novellas that go along with it. The Adventures of Dunk and Egg. It's got this pretty little drawing on the back. This is a read-along on the Bookish Drummer Discord. And they're also going to be reading Song of Ice and Fire, going back through those. So I'm thinking I might reread those here coming up. But this is what I haven't read, and I am super excited to read those. And the new book for the fantasy read-along on the Bookish Drummer Discord is Beyond Redemption by Michael R. Fletcher. This is a fantasy series that I've had my eye on for quite some time. This book keeps popping up as something I'm interested in, so I hopefully will have time to start it. I try to take whatever opportunities I can from these buddy reads. If it's something that I have wanted to read forever, like, here's my chance, I gotta make it happen. Okay, 2 more buddy reads. Book clubs, I mean. The Place Where They Buried Your Heart by Christina Henry. This is a new horror release, and it's for a new book club. The Haunted Library Book Club, hosted by Isabel Reads, and recently got this in Aardvark, so excited to get to that one. And the last book club that I want to participate in January is the Creepy Book Club, hosted by Nightmare Maven. The January book is You Weren't Meant to Be Human by Andrew Joseph White. Alien Meets Midsummer. It's a alien invasion in rural West Virginia. Festering masses of worms and flies have taken root in dark corners across Appalachia. But they're not normal worms. I guess it's an alien invasion. And it's about a trans man who becomes pregnant. I have heard that this is a tough one to read, so we'll see what I think of it. Andrew Joseph White is, I keep thinking it was another author, but I think this is the author that writes the really, really intense YA horror. But this one's adult, like very adult, I think. Andrew Joseph White, I'm pretty sure, is who I was thinking writes very intense YA horror, and not C.G. Drews, who I thought it was, which is funny. Those are all the books I plan on reading in January. It is, I think, a little more reasonable than usual, actually. 14 books. Let me know if you've read any of these books. What did you think of them? Which ones are you most excited about hearing about from me? And I'll be back very soon with another book-related video. Thanks. Bye.